Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikhil Sanade and this is the chapter 4 lesson 3 part 1. The lesson name is Mind Your Own Business. Okay, I will start. In 1947, Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, was asked to speak to the MBA class at the University of Texas at Austin. A dear friend of mine, Keith Cunningham, was a student in that MBA class. After a powerful and inspiring talk, the class adjourned, and the students asked Ray if he would join them at their favorite hangout to have a few beers. Ray graciously accepted. What business am I in? Ray asked. Once the group had all their beers in hand, everyone laughed, said Kate. Most of the MBA students thought Ray was just fooling around. No one answered, so Ray asked the question again. What business do you think I am in? The students laughed again, and finally, one brave soul yelled out, Ray, who in the world does not know that you are in the hamburger business? Ray chuckled. That is what I thought you'd say. He paused and then quickly said, Ladies and gentlemen, I am not in the hamburger business. My business is real estate. Kate said that Ray spent a good amount of time explaining his viewpoint. In their business plan, Ray knew that the primary business focus was to sell hamburger franchises. But what he never lost sight of was the location of each franchise. He knew that the real estate and its location was the most significant factor in the success of each franchise. Basically, the person had bought the franchise was also paying for buying the land under the franchise for Ray Kroc organization. McDonald's today is the largest single owner of real estate in the world, owning even more than the Catholic Church. Today, McDonald's owns some of the most valuable intersections and street corners in America, as well as in the other parts of the world. Keith said, it was one of the most important lessons in his life. Today, Keith owns car washes, but his business is real estate under those car washes. The previous chapter ended with the diagrams illustrating that most people work for everyone else but themselves. They work first for the owners of the company, then for the government through taxes, and finally for the bank that owns their mortgage. As a young boy, we did not have a McDonald's nearby. Yet, my rich dad was responsible for teaching Mike and me the same lesson that Ray Kroc talked about at the University of Texas. It is the secret number three of the rich. The secret is mind your own business. Financial struggle is often directly the result of people working all their life for someone else. Many people will have nothing at the end of their working days. Again, a picture is worth a thousand words. Here is the diagram of the income statement and balance sheet that best describes the Ray Kroc's advice. The advice is our current educational system focuses on preparing today's youth to get good grades by developing scholastic skills. Their lives will revolve around their wages, so as described earlier, their income column. And after developing scholastic skills, they go on to higher level of schooling to enhance their professional abilities. They study to become engineers, scientists, cooks, police officers, artists, writers, and so on. These professional skills allow them to enter the workforce and work for money. There is a big difference between your profession and your business. Often I ask people, what is your business? And they will say, oh, I am a banker. Then I ask them if they own the bank, and they usually respond, no, I work there. In that instance, they have confused their profession with their business. Their profession may be a banker, but they still need their own business. Ray Kroc was clear on the difference between his profession and his business. His profession was always the same. He was a salesman. At one time, he sold mixers for milkshakes, and soon thereafter, he was selling hamburger franchises. But while his profession was selling hamburger franchises, his business was the accumulation of income producing real estate. The problem with school is that you often become what you study. So, if you study, say, cooking, you become a chef. If you study the law, you become an attorney. And a study of auto mechanics makes you a mechanic. The mistakes the mistake in becoming what to study is that too many people forget to mind their own business. They spend their lives minding someone else's business and making that person rich. To become financially secure, a person needs to mind their own business. Your business revolves around your asset column, as opposed to your asset column as stand earlier. The number one rule is to know the difference between an asset and a liability and to buy assets. The rich focuses on their assets column while everyone else focuses on their income statements. That is why we often here, I need a raise. If only I had a promotion. I'm going back to school to get more training so I can get a better job. I am going to work overtime. Maybe I can get a second job. I'm quitting in 2 weeks. I found a job that pays more. In some circles, these are sensible ideas. Yet, if you listen to Ray Kroc, you are still not minding your own business. These ideas all still focus on the income column and will only help a person become more financially secure if the additional money is used to purchase income generating assets. The primary reason with the majority of the poor and the middle class are physically conservative, which means I can't afford to take risks. Is that they have no financial foundation, they have no claim to their jobs, they have to play it safe. When downsizing became the in thing to do, millions of workers found out their largest so-called asset, their home, was eating them alive. Their asset, called a house, still cost them every month. Their car, another asset, was eating them alive. The golf clubs in the garage that cost $1,000 were not worth $1,000 anymore. Without job security, they had nothing to fall back on. What they thought were assets could not help them survive during the time of financial crisis. I assume most of us have filled out a credit application for a banker to buy a house or to buy a car. It is always interesting to look at the net worth section. It is interesting because of what happened. Banking and accounting practices allow a person to count as assets. One day to get a loan, my financial position did not look too good. So I added my new golf club, my art collection, books, stereo, television, Armani suits, wristwatches, shoes, and other personal effects to boost the number in the asset column. But I was turned down for the loan because I had too much investment real estate. The loan committee did not like that I made so much money off the apartment houses. They wanted to know why I did not have a normal job with a salary. They did not question the Armani suits, golf clubs, and art collections. Life is sometimes tough when you do not fit the standard profile. I cringe every time I hear someone say to me that their net worth is $1 million or $1 lakh or whatever. One of the main reasons net worth is not accurate is simply because the moment you begin selling your assets, you are taxed for gains. So many people have put themselves in deep financial trouble when they run short of income. To raise cash, they sell their assets. First, they sell their personal assets can generally be sold for only a fraction of the value that is listed in their personal balance sheet. Or if there is a gain on the sale of the assets, they are taxed on the gain. So again, the government takes its shares of the gain, thus reducing the amount available to help them out of debt. That is why I say someone's net worth is often worthless than they think. Start minding your own business. Keep your daytime job, but start buying real assets, not liabilities or personal effects that have no real value once you get them home. A new car loses nearly 25% of the price you pay for it the moment you drive it off the lot. It is not a true asset, even if your banker lets you list it as one. My $400 new titanium driver was worth $150 the moment I teed off. For adults, Keep your expenses low, reduce your liabilities, and diligently build a base of solid assets. For young people who have not yet left home, it is important for parents to teach them the difference between an asset and a liability. Get them to start building a solid asset column before they leave home. Get married, buy a house, have kids, and get stuck in the risky financial position, clinging to a job and buying everything on credit. I see so many people, young couples, who get married and trap themselves into a lifestyle that will not let them out of the debt for most of their working years. So, most people, just as the last child leaves home, the parents realize they have not adequately prepared for retirement and they begin to scramble to put some away. Then their own parents become ill and they find themselves with new responsibilities. So, what kind of assets am I suggesting that you or your children acquire? In my world, real assets fall into several categories. First one is business that do not require my presence. I own them, but they are managed or run by other people. If I have to work there, it's not a business, it becomes my job. Second one is stocks. Third one is bonds. Fourth one is mutual funds. Fifth one is income generating real estate. Sixth one is notes, IOUs. Seventh one is royalties from intellectual property such as music, script, patents. Eighth one, and everything else that has value, produces income or appreciates and has a ready market. Okay, I will end this part of the audiobook, the part one of the minding your own business here, and I will see you guys in the next video, in the next audiobook. Thanks for listening.